What if I told you that the key to learning scales is actually not doing more, but doing less? A lot of beginners learn scales the wrong way and it hurts their progress. They end up spending much more time than they should spend. I have helped countless beginners come from being confused to being confident. That's what you're doing today, and you're welcome. By the way, my name is Tike Kunyabit, and this is the Ladara Creative Academy. We teach audio, we teach music, online, offline, you name it. There are 3 considerations I'll give you about learning how to play scales. So these things are differentiating between scales, keys, key signature, and modes. How many scales there really are there to learn, okay? And then after that, you come to how to actually learn scales, okay? So let's get started. So the fundamental question is, what's the difference between key signature, key, scale, and mode? Because a lot of people confuse them and they use them interchangeably. I really don't think we should learn music that way, okay? So a key signature is just a symbol that tells you how many accidentals you're dealing with to play a piece. For example, do you have 2 sharps or 2 flats? Do you have 3 sharps or 3 flats? Do you have 0 sharps and 0 flats, or 6 sharps or 6 flats? That's the key signature for you. Next thing is the key. The key is the tonal center, okay? If the tonal center is C, we will say the song is in the key of C. If it's A, we will say the song is in A. So for that reason, if the song is in C, we will say it's in the key of C, because key is the tonal center. If it's in A, we will say it's in A because A is the tonal center. Then next we talk about the scale, okay? A scale is just a sequence of notes from a particular key. For example, if we're talking about our key being C, that means our tonal center is C. So we can play notes starting with C and they will make up a scale. So that's something everybody knows. Now, next, we can look at modes. Now, modes are just changes you can introduce in the scale, okay? For example, this was C major. Okay? So the modes, we have this C major. We can also play D Dorian. We can also have E Phrygian. We can also have F Lydian. We can also have G Mixolydian, A Aeolian or A minor, and B Locrian. So as you can notice, I'm not using any sharps or flats in what I'm playing. So that means all what I was playing were modes, but all these modes belong to the same key signature. They don't have any flats or sharps. So having eliminated all that confusion about key signature, key, scale, mode, now we can go to the next thing now. So the next question is, how many scales are there to learn really? Well, the number is quite not what you expect. Okay, we have 12 notes on the keyboard. For that reason, when it comes to the key signature, we have 12 options. Okay, we can start from any of these buttons. And when it comes to the key, we also have 12 options. Okay, but when it comes to the scales, we have 7 options for each of the 12 notes. For example, we talked about the C major scale or the C Ionian. We also talk about the D Dorian and the E Phrygian, and so on. For this key signature where we don't have any sharp or flat, we have 7 modes so far. for every note or for every pitch we can start from, we have 7 of those modes. So what does that math give you? Something like 84. That's just the basic ones, not talking about the variations of the minor scale or the variations in the introducing the blues scales or the pentatonic scales. We're not talking about that. So the number is already 84, which tells me it's quite overwhelming. So what's our solution? The solution is working on only 3. That's how you can get started. And if you understand those 3 I'm going to talk to you about, I think you can understand pretty much everything. So what are those scales? The first one, we are going to deal with a key signature that has 0 sharps or 0 flats. So if you're playing with no sharps or flats, you have 7 modes. Out of those modes, I would think you need to choose only 2. Okay? The major one, which is C major in this case, and then the minor one, which is A minor. But this minor, it has 2 other variations. Okay, this is the natural minor I've just played, but we can also have the A minor harmonic, which is this, or we can also have another variation called the melodic one. So A minor melodic sounds like this. Those are the 3 variations I want you to start with. So next, if you finish that and you understand that, it's better you go to the key signature having 1 sharp, which corresponds to G major, or in that case, E minor. That's the E minor natural, okay? It also has 2 variations. That is the harmonic one or the melodic version. The next scale you should look at, I think, is the one that has only 1 flat, and that is the F major or the D minor. But it also has the other 2 variations, which include the harmonic and the melodic. For now, that's all we had time for. I seriously advise you watch this video here about the layout of the keyboard if you don't know the notes I was playing, or this one here about the intervals. I think it is very, very, very important to really understand how these basics work. If you love videos like this in the future, drop out a comment, tell us what you think we should go to next, and hit the subscribe button if you really don't want to miss when we upload any new videos. Thanks a lot and see you then.